Students, we are just going to start a new topic today, that is specific mode of reproduction. In specific mode of reproduction, we are just going to start with the parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis means what? Just try to understand. Normally, in the sexual reproduction, what happen? Egg is there. Egg will be fertilized with the help of sperm, and then it is going to convert either in form of seed or in form of embryo there in case of animals. But in some of the animals, in some of the organisms, what happen, egg is not going under the process of fertilization and directly getting converted in form of seed or embryo. This is what a special mode of reproduction is. Means what? The development of seed or embryo without the fertilization is called as parthenogenesis. Are you getting my point? Normally, egg is undergoing in the process of fertilization with the help of an sperm, with the help of an male gamete, and finally it is getting converted in form of seed or embryo. But in some of the cases, in some of the organisms, what happen, there is no fertilization occur and the egg is directly getting converted in form of the seed or embryo. So development of seed or embryo without the fertilization is called as parthenogenesis. So where do we found the parthenogenesis? Let's see some of the example. Basically, this is the property of arthropod, phylum Arthropoda, where insects, wasp, honeybee, aphids, ants, and many more insects are there. Some crustacean, minor phylum Rotifera, some fishes, amphibians like salamanders, lizards. Lizards, very much common lizards are there: rock lizard, whiptail lizards, gecko, Komodo dragon. These all are the lizards which are performing the parthenogenetic mode of reproduction. Even though some of the birds are also there, those who are performing the parthenogenetic mode of reproduction. The bird, example of that bird is turkey bird. Um, we can say one more example I could add there in the small snake also, that is Typhlops. So parthenogenetic mode of reproduction is also considered as a common mode of reproduction in many of the group. Common mode of reproduction in many of the group means to say this is only, or this is the mode of reproduction, this is the basic mode of reproduction, this is the only mode of reproduction in many of the animal group, like in arthropods, some of the fishes, and some of the reptiles. One very important point that I am just going to discuss with you, along with the mode of reproduction, the parthenogenesis may be used as a tool of sex determination. What is the meaning of sex determination? Sex determination means a method by which we can find out the particular sex of an organism, whether the organism sex is male or the sex of organism is female. How could it be used as the tool of sex determination? We'll discuss there in the later half of the topic. So in which organism it is going to be used as the tool of sex determination? That is ants, wasp, and honeybee. So is it clear to you all till now what we have? The parthenogenesis was first time reported by Charles Bonnet in 1745 while he was studying on an insect, that is aphid. So it was first time studied by Charles Bonnet in an insect while studying therein an insect aphid. So now we are moving on to the types of parthenogenesis. Basically, the parthenogenesis is of two types. First one is the natural parthenogenesis. Natural parthenogenesis means which occurs naturally. There is no need of artificial induction. There is no involvement of the human effort there in the parthenogenesis. That is what it is, a kind of completely the natural phenomena without involvement of human intelligence, without involvement of human effort. The natural parthenogenesis is also of two types. Number one, archenotochy. Archenotochy is also called as haplodiploidy. It is also known as incomplete parthenogenesis. The first type of natural parthenogenesis is archenotochy or haplodiploidy or incomplete parthenogenesis. What is it means? Archenotochy or incomplete parthenogenesis or haplodiploidy means we are going to focus on these two words, haplodiploidy. Two words are there. One is haplo. Haplo word is the short form of haploid, and second word is diplo. That is the short form of diploid. Haploid. Now we are just going to use the word egg, since we have already seen that parthenogenesis is conversion of egg in form of embryo or seed. So haploid egg and diploid egg. So if the haploid egg is there, that haploid egg is always going to convert in form of haploid unfertilized. I am adding one more thing. Haploid unfertilized egg convert in form of males always, and diploid fertilized egg convert in form of female. So are you getting my point? Why it is haplodiploidy? Because two different type of situations are there in the life cycle. Some of the eggs are remains haploid, some of the eggs remains diploid. How they remains haploid and diploid? This is because of the random distribution of chromosome while the gametogenesis occurs. If some of the eggs receive more number of the chromosome, one chromosome non-disjunction, that we'll discuss later during the genetics only. But haploid egg, if egg is there, if it is remain unfertilized, it is going to convert in form of males, and diploid egg it is there, if it is going to fertilized, will form the female. This is what example seen there in honeybees. How? We must understand, in honeybee they are performing the social organization. What is social organization? In their society, in their colony, three types of organism are there: queen, workers, and king, or we can say drone. Queen is female, worker is female, and drone is male. So queen developed from the queen developed from the fertilized egg, that is diploid in nature. So queen developed from fertilized egg, that is diploid in nature, female. Worker developed from unfertilized egg, they are also diploid in nature. But the drone, that is male, remains haploid. So this is what haplodiploidy. Haploid and diploid, two types of eggs are there. Haploid eggs are going to convert in form of males if they remains unfertilized, and diploid eggs are getting converted in form of the queens and workers, the fertilized female. So female is queen and worker and drone. So I think it is very much clear to you all ki how archenotochy or haplodiploidy mode of parthenogenesis is working here. And remember, before some time only, before a few minutes only, I just informed you, I just made it clear to you कि the parthenogenesis may work as a tool for sex determination. Here you can easily observe that how the parthenogenesis is working as a tool of sex determination. Are you getting my point? The second type of natural parthenogenesis is thaleotochy. are diploid or complete parthenogenesis, means they are not having any other mean of sexual reproduction. They are performing only one way of reproduction, that is parthenogenesis. What happens in case of diploid parthenogenesis or diploidy? Diploid unfertilized eggs, diploid eggs, that is remains unfertilized, convert in form of females. So is it clear to you all what is the difference between here and here? In case of haplodiploidy or arhinotochy, diploid egg which gets fertilized, they are getting converted in form of female, while there in case of diploidy, the diploid egg which remains unfertilized, they are just getting converted in form of female. So here example, we are just taking a bird, that is turkey. Very important question it is there. And in CBSE examination, there are so many times the question is being asked. Remember how the question is going to be asked. This is only the portion from where the parthenogenetic questions will be there. The question will be there. Suppose if they are just going to provide any kind of example and they are just going to ask one organism is there, one example is they have taken, this organism is going to give birth female after female and female and female, generation after generation. How is it possible? So the answer will be due to parthenogenesis. Or an organism like that, honeybee is going to produce male after male after male. How is it possible? This is because of that one, because of parthenogenesis. So only the continuity of the sex is there in any of the questions. So this is because of the parthenogenesis. Remember always, sometimes some smart questions are given there in case of this arhinotochy. That time you must remember like that, if 32 chromosome and 16 chromosome condition is given, and 16 chromosome is for the male and 32 chromosome is for the female. So you must have to remember this one. And similarly, if any kind of the question is there where female repeated female again and again, so this is once again for the thalitokic situation. That means the complete parthenogenesis, the egg remains unfertilized and getting converted in form of the females. So second type of parthenogenesis is called as artificial parthenogenesis. Artificial parthenogenesis. Artificial parthenogenesis means once again the involvement of human efforts. When parthenogenesis is induced by human efforts, then it is called as induced parthenogenesis. How the first time it was performed by Jacques Loeb in 1899 in sea urchin. Secondly, it was performed by Bertillon. He performed the artificial parthenogenesis there in frog. In the series, the Pincus was the third who performed the parthenogenesis there in rabbit. For artificial parthenogenesis, some factors are required, or we can say some stimulus are required which can change the developmental patterns. The stimulus may be of two types. One is called as physical stimulus. What are these physical stimulus? How it can be done? The physical stimulus like pricking of needle that was performed there in sea urchin, electric shock. If we are just going to change in temperature, change in pH, these all are the physical stimulus. Similarly, some chemical stimulus also can be provided for performing the artificial parthenogenesis. Artificial parthenogenesis, the chemical stimulus are the use of urea, fatty acid. We can introduce the ether, chloroform, etc. What is the purpose of artificial parthenogenesis? Why we are just doing the practices to perform the parthenogenesis there? The purpose of our artificial parthenogenesis is to preserve or ensure the desired characteristic in organism. So this is all about the parthenogenesis. Next to the parthenogenesis, the next special mode of reproduction is neoteny and pedogenesis. Usually both are the methods, both are the terms are interrelated to each other. That is why I'm just taking them all together. I'm not taking too much of the detail of this one. Neoteny is attaining the sexual maturity by a larva. Attaining the sexual maturity by a larva is the neoteny. This is a common there in salamander. This happens sometime due to some of the factors. The larva remains in the larval stage only, and they develop the sexual structures and perform the reproduction only. And the factors is basically the lack of iodine, the low temperature and lack of iodine, stops their metamorphosis. Stops their metamorphosis, and that is why they remains in the larval stage only. But due to that, one more important point is that if the larva gets the proper condition, proper temperature and the proper amount of the iodine required for their metamorphosis, they will again convert back in form of the adult. So is it clear to you all? Now next, the term related to this one only, pedogenesis. Nothing different from it, only the mode of explanation is different. Neoteny is attaining the sexual maturity by a larva, but pedogenesis is a sexual reproduction performed by a larva. Are you getting my point? Sexual reproduction performed by a larva. A larva is called as pedogenesis. Means what? Once the sexual organs are developed, sexual maturity developed due to the neoteny, the larva may perform the sexual reproduction also. That is called as what? Pedogenesis. The example is axolotl larva. This is the larva of ambystoma, normally called as salamander. It found in the Mexico, and due to the neoteny it develops the sexual reproduction structures and perform the sexual reproduction, and the reason behind that was lack of iodine. Go. The third special mode of reproduction is parthenocarpy. In very short term, I'm just going to bind it. Parthenos, once again virgin. Carp fruits. So parthenocarpy means what? Development of fruits without fertilization. Is called as parthenocarpy. The key point or key feature of these fruits are basically the seedless fruits. If they are just going to develop without fertilization, so they will be seedless, because the seeds are produced by the process of fertilization. So if the fruits are developed without the fertilization, so they will remain the seedless. So my dear student, you have seen many of the fruits like grapes, banana. These are the example of parthenocarpy, like that: grapes, banana, pineapple, cucumber. If you can ask to your parents or elder ones, they will explain you कि initially the pineapple, cucumber, watermelon, they are having great number of the seeds. Even though the papaya also, the great number of seeds were there, but nowadays we are just having the papaya and the watermelon with the few number of the seeds, are almost the seedless varieties there. Sometimes we may observe the grapes are present there in the market with the large seeds. So that seeds are, that grapes are actually the wild form, and what we are using the grape, that is the mutant form. So nowadays we are just continuing to produce the seedless varieties. Means what? If we are just going to produce the commercial production, so for commercial production of these fruits, this is a desired property, the fruit must be seedless. So now whatever the fruits we are just having without seed, they are being produced by the parthenocarpy. Means what? They are produced by the parthenogenesis. How the parthenocarpy is being introduced there? Go. The parthenocarpy is induced either by the artificial pollination, that we'll discuss in the later, and use of synthetic auxin. Very important question for NEET examination. So I think you all have very much clear about all the specific mode of reproduction, where we have discussed the parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis means development of seed or embryo without the fertilization. where we have just find out there are two basic modes of parthenogenesis, natural and artificial. Natural without involvement of the human effort, and there are two types, haplodiploidy and diploidy. Haplodiploidy, where haploid unfertilized eggs are getting converted in form of males, while diploid fertilized eggs are getting converted in form of females. So male to male, if the question is there, then it is because of the arhenotoky or haplodiploidy, and fertilized eggs are going to generate the fertilized egg is going to generate the diploid female only. This is because of the arhenotoky or haplodiploidy. Secondly, the diploidy, where unfertilized diploid egg is going to convert in form of female. So once again, female to female, that is being observed there in the bird, that is turkey bird. Then natural, after natural, the next one is artificial. Artificial, we have just provided some of the stimulus, physical stimulus, chemical stimulus, and we have observed so many things there on neoteny, pedogenesis. Neoteny and pedogenesis are two combined factors, two combined events where the larva develop the sexual maturity and they start performing the sexual reproduction. Finally, in the plants only we have observed sometimes the fruits may develop without involvement of fertilization, and if the fruits develop without involvement of fertilization, so they remain seedless. So seedless varieties of the fruits, whatever we are having in our hand, they are basically developed due to the parthenocarpic, and these fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits. Why this is important? Parthenocarpic fruits are commercially important because their agronomic trait, the important trait for what we are just growing them, is their seedless properties. Okay, and how the parthenocarp is induced? Because of the artificial pollination, and we can apply the artificial synthetic material, that is synthetic hormone auxin. Thank you.